advice if you want to combine them together by those who think they should particular way. But I think it is appropriate to arrange your space according to what space you have. Next question, how can a practitioner know if they have established spiritual connection with Vajrapani Bodhisattva? Are there signs or experience one should look for? Well, if you have already received our empowerment, jhana, that is already connection. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have universal compassion, and we are all within their range. But we as individuals, if we feel a little drawn to one practice like Vajrapani Butadamara, then you obviously have that connection. The sign is that that you should feel drawn by the infinite qualities of the Buddha, no matter which Buddha or Bodhisattva is. Another question regarding visualization practice. What is the correct way to visualize Vajrapani Butadamara? How can one cultivate stable and vivid visualization in a proper manner? Well, all visualizations should see it as a manifestation of the wisdom being in a not a solid, tangible body, but rather like a hologram type of appearance, like rainbow. When you see rainbow, rainbow is there visible, but it's not solid. Likewise, all deities should be visualized as a transient, is a celestial. It's a nature of light, not a solid. So that's that. Could you kindly explain how to meditate, visualize, and invoke the blessings of Vajrapani in a way that brings genuine spiritual experience? What is the energy and light associated with him? The energy of light, energy associated with the Vajrapani is a fearlessness, and not because there aren't things that frightens you, but you know that all things that appears are merely illusory, and so one should um, see them as illusory and rainbow light. Genuine spiritual practice. Genuine spiritual practices, you should first generate the samaya sattva, symbolic being form of Vajrapani. Then you have to animate that with samaya sattva by invoking jnana sattva, that's a wisdom being. And then when the jnana sattva is installed in the samaya sattva, then it becomes the genuine deity. Otherwise, it's like a deity or form that doesn't have any substance. So when you mantra, mudra, and dhyana, so this is what we call recitation of mantra, physical gesture, and concentration are combined together, then you need to also develop what we call four things: form, devotion, blessing, and result. If you're able to visualize the deity, at the same time you see you have a devotion that this Vajrapani Butadamara is embodiment of all the combined spiritual power of all the Buddhas to benefit sentient beings. You have to have very strong devotion. And then you should also know that by doing this, I will be blessed, I will be changed, I will be made strong and confident and fearless. So that's a blessing. And the result is that this Vajrapani you are visualizing shouldn't be thought as an imagination, should be thought as a resultant Vajrapani. So this form, devotion, blessing, and result are put, if you're able to combine together, then that makes a genuine practice. And I would like to ask if Rinpoche could kindly clarify the aspiration and enlighten activities of Vajrapani Butadamara. I wish to understand more deeply his great compassionate vows and how he support beings through his wrathful compassion. Yes, all the Buddhas have both aspirational bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta. Aspiration bodhicitta is no different. They all wish to establish and guide us to enlightenment. Engaging bodhicitta is Vajrapani manifests as a wrathful, fierce compassion, forearms covered in 8 snakes and wearing tiger snakes in order to show the fearsome manifestation in order to subdue people who has a lot of anger and enmity, aggression and hostility. So therefore, when we are doing Vajrapani Butadamara practice, particular unique characteristic and quality of Vajrasattva's compassion is to tame those unruly, wrathful, aggressive sentient beings through his manifestation of complete wrath with bad fangs and all the 8 snakes and the tiger skin and standing on top of Butadamara, the indomitable Aparajita under his feet. So his compassion is therefore expressed to subdue those unruly beings. Oh, okay. Next question is, how has this practice come down through Sakya lineage? And are there specific instructions or advice you receive from your own teacher that you feel are essential for beginners today? Well, this practice has come down through Parilotsawa. Parilotsawa is the teacher of Sajjeng Kunga Nyingpo. He went to India, spent 12 years, and then after returning to Tibet, he brought many collection of sadhanas called Parigyatsa. Parigyatsa is a collection that are named after him. And then he gave these and many other practices to Sachen Kunga Nyingpo. And it is through that this four-armed Vajrapani that is taught in Vajra Tantra with its practice and within the Sakya tradition, with the exception of some, maybe Sakya monastery itself, most monastics have to do Vajrapani or Hayagriva or Achala, one of the three wrathful deities, before they're permitted to major practice like the Mahakala Puja or participate in any drupchas. And monks have to at least do that month to 6 week retreat first. And when I had the good fortune to do my 3.5 years retreat, my guru teacher, His Eminence Choget teacher Rinpoche, gave me and 2 others to do Vajrapani. The other 2 has done that before, so they were doing Hayagriva and other practices. So to allay all obstacles for a big spiritual journey to begin in the Sakya lineage, Vajrapani retreat and sadhana is a given first thing. So when I received that, of course, we did that complete retreat, followed by the fire puja, and that only then allow us to do the main 3-year retreat. So I think that is still relevant to all of you. There are many students here in Australia who have done this Vajrapani retreat, both individually, also as a group. In the last 30 years, at least over 40 people have done this retreat. So I believe it is a very important practice to remove all obstacles before you begin your main spiritual practice. Another question is, when obstacles arise in life, emotional disturbances, confusion, hardship, illness, how can we apply this practice skillfully without bypassing the relative reality of our experience? Yeah, exactly. not just with the Vajrapani practices, when you are actually experiencing some of the emotional setbacks or difficulties or illness or whatever, one should see that the practice is bringing on the ripening of the karma much more speedily, bringing forward the future sufferings into present obstacles in the practice. So, therefore, instead of being intimidated by the obstacles, one should learn to utilize them, obstacles, as would-be siddhis. So that's why the externally illness and disturbance, but internally one should not be should be frightened by them, and then develop the emptiness and non-existent and lack of inherent existence of these real obstacles. They are purging your own negative karma of the past. With this in mind, we should remain develop the right view of the lack of inherent existence. Even confusion, hardships are temporary, and they are there for a good cause, blessing in disguise. So should we, one thing. Next question, how can we integrate Vajrapani Butadamara practice into daily life when not in formal session or retreat? Are there short forms or essential elements we can focus on consistently? Thank you. Very good question. Yeah, mostly the time that you are sitting on the cushion or doing retreat is only limited, only maybe 1 hour a day or a couple of months a retreat. But main thing is to bring on this Vajrapani practice in your everyday life. That is that you should always remember Akshobhya on top of your crown. And that you should have the strong sense of pride that I'm Vajrapani. All forms are deity, all sounds are mantra, all thoughts are emptiness. If you remember these three and maybe sometimes murmur the mantra Hung Vajrape, if something difficult happens, just try to say those things a couple of times and then see the impermanence and emptiness of all things. So you should fearlessly look at the things as not truly existing there, as a reflection of your own fearfulness. If your own fear is understood as with awareness, where is the fear, where it came, where it's abiding, where is it going, you won't have any fear left. So you should recite Hung Vajra and see them all obstacles as a temporary and a blessing in disguise. Don't give power to the obstacle as it's some terrible thing happening to you. So that's how you deal with the short forms of practice, Hung Vajra. And so that's that. And next question, how should we train in identifying with the Buddha Dhammara's enlightened perspective without falling into the ordinary concepts of self-aggrandizement or egoic pride? Well, if the whether if you have, firstly you have to have pure perception of yourself as a deity, not as an ordinary ego. Ordinary ego has a name and so on. Here your name is I'm Vajrapani. I am faultless. I've relinquished all faults. I'm embodiment of all the qualities. This kind of divine pride is essential because it is divine pride that you can overcome ordinary pride. Vajrayana is a very powerful concept to destroy ordinary concept. The word mantra. Mantra means to destroy wrong concepts. Your divine pride of being the deity is the wisdom discerning the emptiness of self, and therefore the divine pride knowing that. And then we have other questions here. What color are the syllable Hri and A? I'm not sure about syllable Hri, maybe blue, I'm not sure. But syllable I, that which turns into moon disk, is definitely white. Next question, on my forehead is a white syllable on. and the essence of Buddhas of 3 times. At my throat, red syllable R. At my heart, blue syllable Hum. How exactly should we visualize 3 syllables Om, Ah, and Hum? Like a tattoo painted on the outside of the skin or inside the body where the backbone is. The seed syllables Om, Ah, Hum on oneself as a Vajrapani's body. See, Vajrapani's body is not solid like a skin, and then it has got some bones inside. It hasn't got any fleshy body. So you should think of that as a transparent Om on the forehead, Ah at the throat, Hung at your heart chakra is rather like a hologram, rather like the reflection of things in the water. You can see very clearly, but it's not tangible, not solid, not obstructive. So that's the way. And then next, if the Om is essence of Buddhas of 3 times, what are the Ah and Hum? I don't know where you get that from. The syllable Om is essence of all the Buddha's holy body on the forehead. And likewise, seed syllable Ah is essence of all the Buddha's pure speech on the throat. And likewise, seed syllable Hung is the quintessence of all the Buddha's enlightened mind on the heart. I can't do this next question because you're asking me to show the diamond Vajrapani Butadamara Mudra to show you because our camera is not working. But you mainly interlock your 2 ring fingers, the right ring finger on top, right ring finger hooks up, left ring finger down, and then you lift up, and then your middle finger and the little finger are pressed by the thumb. Your index finger is slightly curled, so that's what we call Vajrapani demon subduing gesture. And then you touch them through the heart, throat, forehead, and then snap the finger on top of the crown. So hopefully that does it. It's actually the text is pretty self-explanatory. And then next question is, how long should one meditate for? Where it says, hold the mind for a while in meditation upon the naturalness of one's own body and of appearance. Meditate on the divine pride of being Vajrapani at the 13th stage of Bodhisattva. Concentrate on the central eye, ornaments, and so on. So this is a good question because after you generate yourself, before you do the meditation, before you do the recitation, you should do this what called Sem-Zin meditation. Sem-Zin means holding the mind on the nature of the deity's appearance and the emptiness. So divine pride of being the deity, as well as divine pride of being the deity, as well as focusing on the general and specific aspects of the appearance of the Vajrapani, such as the central eye and the right and left eye. So how long should one meditate is depending to how much time you have. Those of you who really wanted to incorporate calm abiding meditation that you don't have separate time to do, then this is obviously best time to pause here and then sit still and observe the stillness and clarity and serenity of your attention and focus your mind on the divine pride, a general aspect, and specific aspects of the deity, thinking, I am Vajrapani, I'm fully enlightened one, I have one face, I have, 4 arms, and so on. You generally look at that and then specific. It's good to be able to spend some time if you can incorporate that, maybe not too long a time, but at the same time, not too short a time. At least good 4 or 5 minutes is very good. Quite a lot of people do the sadhana very speedily, read quickly without pausing any moment. So even if you can't pause long, throughout the sadhana, each section by section. It's good to read one paragraph and pause at least a couple of seconds. Try to give a sense of feeling. And of course, here specifically, it says you should pause and meditate on that. So a lot depends to your skill and timing yourself. How long is too long and how short is too short and how much is just right. So that actually generates stillness and the awareness of the awareness that you are wisdom deity Vajrapani. You are not ordinary sort of person faking yourself as Vajrapani. I am resultant Vajrapani. I am this and I'm that. I have four arms and I'm doing this. I'm covered in these bone ornaments and all of these things are really good to develop as a deity yoga of the wisdom being that you are. And then next question is maybe there is no question beside the following mantra. During the generation phase, there wasn't any mention of the mantra garland circling the hung and neither of the sun disk. But now, at the time to recite the mantra, they appear. Yeah, I think. Yeah, that's. Yeah, I think that you are talking about the paragraph. Brilliant light rays resembling a garland of fire shine forth infinitely from the mantra garland of seed syllable surrounding the blue syllable hung, resting upon the sun is within my heart. Yeah, well, these things are you generated from the seed syllable hung, didn't you? So that seed syllable hung that you generated from is the very seed syllable hung we're referring to, whether it was detail mentioned during the generation stage or not. You generated from the seed syllable hung, which was standing on the sun disk, remember? And then you also visualize that always in your heart chakra, standing on the seed syllable hung, standing on top of sun disk. And it is always assumed the mantra rose is always in the around the seed syllable of the deity. So here, when it says the mantra rosary, the Hum Vajrapani Butadamara Buddhadipati Akshobhagirita and Sarva Buddha Pratapisha. So the whole mantra is all in clockwise, but they're not spinning, okay? They're all radiating light from the hung, and hung radiation of hung touches all the other syllables, and then from the other syllable, light radiates. So mantra rosary itself is not spinning, as some people might think. It's arranged clockwise, but it is not circling clockwise or anti-clockwise. It is just radiating light from each of the seed syllables to all 10 direction. Because when you are doing the mantra recitation, you put more focus on it. That's why it's very detailed mentioned. During the generation stage, it is not that explicit. Then another question is concentrate on the flow of breath through the left nostril, or if one does not suit, through the right nostril. Visualize that the breath you inhale is white, resonating the sound Om. Breath held in between inhaling, exhaling is red, resonating the sound Ah. And the breath you exhale is blue, resonating sound Hung. Repeat this meditation at least 21 times. He says, please show us in detail how this breathing meditation should be performed. Well, you just inhale. So when you say inhale, you just mentally say in, then inhale, and then you need to see the oxygen coming in a form of white light, and mentally say Om. Mentally say Om, and white light comes in and inhale. And then mentally say Ah, and then red light radiates and goes in a camouflage into your whole nervous system inside your body. And so you then retain or permeate the breath. And then mentally repeat hung, and as you exhale, the carbon that you're releasing is blue color. So mentally reciting Om, white Om, red A, blue Hum, coinciding with inhalation, retention, exhalation in those three colors. This is called diamond recitation. Basically, you're reciting Om, Ah, Hum. You're coinciding Om with inhalation with white. You're coinciding mentally saying ah as a resonating red light and hung when you exhale. So you're basically watching what we call diamond recitation. Om, ah, hung. You are reciting that. You're mentally reciting that Om, ah, hung. And you're coinciding that. You're using the incoming breath as a conveyor belt on which you put the oxygen white color and resonating sound om. So that is the inhalation recitation. When you permeate the breath, hold the breath, spread the breath, oxygenate your whole body, and then the sound is ah, a red color, and that goes into you, and then you exhale blue hung. So this Om Ah Hung, which we recite, white Om, red Ah, blue Hung, represent the Nirmanakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Dharmakaya, because the white Om represent the Nirmanakaya. Red R represent the Sambhoga, the Dharmakaya, and the blue Hung represent the Sambhogakaya. So in this way, you are actually mentally reciting Om Ah Hung together with the inhalation, retention, exhalation, resonating of the Om Ah Hung. One such round is equal to a diamond. If you do that really mindfully, doing, knowing, seeing, feeling, with devotion, with blessing, and so on, it is more valuable than finding a piece of diamond. So what we call Dorjin Depa is a Vajrajapa is considered to be very, very sacred. It is a cause of great meditative concentration. A lot of yogis do 500 rounds of diamond recitation as soon as they rise up. And I used to do also that when in the 3-year retreat. During the Vajrapani retreat like this, at the end, we always do this time recitation. The more I did this, that much it made me feel so joyful. I wasn't putting too much strenuous effort in the retreat, but I was putting really joyous effort. It doesn't fatigue me. So it's a very, very precious practice. Mm. It says here, can you explain why breathing meditation come last in this sadhana while usually they are performed at the beginning of most practices? No, well, some breathing practice you do at the beginning, what we call usually the ninefold exhalation practices, or 7 breathings of yoga. That's a different thing. But here in this, it is considered to be a mini completion stage practices doing the diamond recitation. Diamond recitation features very important in all the breathing advanced yoga practices. So it is done at this very place. That's that. Um, then next question says, why do Sakya teachers advise students to do this practice before entering any extensive retreat? Good question. I think I've partly answered that before. Vajrapani, Butadamara, or Hayagriva, or Achala, or Vajrakilaya, either of these 4 retreat you should do at the very beginning in order to prevent obstacles into your spiritual journey. So because every spiritual practice, everything you try to do good attract obstacles. So therefore you deliberately try to remove all the obstacles by doing that. When because we have external, internal, and secret obstacles. And all those obstacles sometimes impedes people, and people usually give up. So if you are able to do the wrathful deities like Vajrapani, Butadamara, Sadhana, and then it will pave the way, like bulldozes all the big things and makes the pave the way for your spiritual progress. So that's why this is recommended. What are the benefits from this practice? Next question. The benefit of this practice is that you have a very confidence in your sadhana practice, because this is not a very long sadhana in comparison to other Hai Vajra or Chakra Sambhara or Vajrayogini or Kala Chakra. Those sadhana, in comparison, that Hai Vajrapani is a short sadhana. So it prepares you, because it is Maha Yoga sadhana, but a shorter one, it prepares you to do long sadhanas later on. Next question is, how has this practice come down through Sakya lineage? I think we covered that. We covered that already. So that question is repeated for some reason. Um, mm, okay, so next question is, I see in the Vajrayana discourse, Vajrapani Buddha requires offering 7 bowls of water. I hope you can guide me on how to make this offering. Do I need to pray before offering the water? And after finishing the ritual, how long should the water be left before taking it down? And after taking it down, can I drink it or pour it away? As far as for using the 5-spoked Vajra pestle, do I need to visualize it, or do I need an instrument? I hope you can guide me on how to preserve and use the instrument as not to violate the precepts. I don't know about the use of the 5-spoked Vajra pestle, but offering 7 offering bowls is nothing unique to Vajrapani. All Tibetan Buddhist shrine has 7 offering bowls. Whether you put them with the flower, 2 water, flower, and incense, lamp, perfume, food, music, or not, if you just put 7 water bowls, or you put 7 bowls filled with the different items, all of these 7 bowls represent 7 limb offerings. When Atisha the Great came to Tibet, he was a great promoter of the 7 limb prayer, the backbone of all Mahayana and Vajrayana Buddhist rituals. And in order to represent the 7-fold prayers, he recommended to put 7 bowls and fill them with many offerings of substance, such as water. So, therefore, offering 7 bowls of water is nothing unique to Vajrapani, Butadamara. In fact, if you do the Torma offerings of something like that for Vajrapani, Butadamara, Vajrapani is actually not 7 bowls; it should be 9 bowls. Uh, but if you just do the normal common offerings on the shrine, 7 offering bowls. But if you want to do specifically Torma offering with Vajrapani, you need to do 9 offering bowls, because Vajrapani has 4 waters, and then flower, incense, lamp, perfume, and food. Second last question is regarding the practice of this ritual. I have to meditate on samsara, meditate on gratitude, meditate on bodhicitta. So how should I meditate on each of these meditation topics at least, and when is enough time for each topic? Yeah, I think you are very inclusive. Actually, it is true. Every sadhana is complete master plan for enlightenment. If it's not, question is how long you spend time, how inclusive you are, even in a short, succinct practice. You know, bodhicitta or refuge is not something you do 3 times at the beginning and then you do other things. Even though you liturgically you read this bodhicitta and refuge prayer 3 times at the beginning and so on, you still keep the refuge bodhicitta as base of the whole practice, throughout the whole practice. Even you finish the sadhana, you are still in refuge. You still are maintaining your bodhicitta motivation. Still, you are meditating on the shortcomings of samsara. Still, you are developing sympathetic joy, loving kindness, compassion. It is not as though you start one bit, few minutes on bodhicitta, another few minutes on this, and not like that. Just like you make a cake, you know. If you make a cake, you put 10 different ingredients. First, you pour the whatever ingredient, then the second, but you will blend all of them, you know. So don't think that you should practice piece by piece and then you move on another. Even when you're doing refuge, and you followed by bodhicitta, followed by other practices. The refuge is still holding you. Bodhicitta still remains your keen main intent. Why you're doing visualization? Why you're radiating rays of light? Why you're reciting mantra? It is with the very bodhicitta intention. You should be still doing the mantra recitation. You should still be doing the movement of hand gesture. So sure, sometimes it looks like practice may take very long, but other times, if you know how to be inclusive, that all the facets of Dharma teachings are in one complete sadhana. And so therefore, don't try to divide them into separate individual topics. Try to blend them in. It's just like a building that has cement, that has concrete, that has wood, that has timber, that has wires. All of them are holding the building together. Not a single one is one do and then not connect with each other. So they're all comprehensively connected together. Last question. How long should I practice each Vajrapani Buddha ritual session on average? Because I see that there are quite a few topics to meditate on. If I meditate for that long, I'll probably take 3 hours. Yes, you're very, very thoughtful. How long it takes is all depend. Usually good 40 minutes is necessary for beginners. It depends really how much thought, feelings you put in the practice. If you're just reading line by line, doing sometimes 3 times, just the mudras, you don't put any feelings and devotion and visualization to it, you can pretty much read very quickly, But then they don't say that you should pause here and there too long either. So average, good 30 to 40 minutes is expected to do Vajrapani sadhana, particularly if you become very well versed and familiar with it. And whereas other people might take a little bit longer, you wouldn't believe how some people are so slow. You wouldn't believe others are so fast, but who knows whose quality is better. You have to take that. Sometimes you can have a very few moments of bodhicitta. That's incredibly powerful. It supports you for the rest of the sadhana. It's like your bodhicitta has been supporting you all this time. Your visualization, the other was pretty much not much there, but your bodhicitta was the key that supported you all along. So you need to look for the qualities rather than the quantity and length of time that really determines your practice. So with this, I think I have covered most of the questions except one or two that was asking for the mudras because we can't show this tonight. This, for some reason, our video has not quite worked. My apologies because I'm traveling in the countryside and I have been using someone else's computer and Zoom because my own wasn't quite in place. Anyway, so I like to thank Sakya friends and what a great job to be able to receive this empowerment from His Holiness Sakya Gongma teaching in the Vesak month. And may you all have your obstacles removed, obstacle transformed, or transform all your obstacles as a cause of blessing in disguise, rather than pushing it away, denying, rejecting them, angry at obstacles. All obstacles are would-be siddhis, if you know what I mean. If you know how to handle with that, there are siddhis in disguise. Vajrapani Butadamara Hung Vajraphe Om Butadamara Buddha Adipada Akshubhe Greater Sarva Buddha Preta Pishasana Sadaya Hung Hey. You just recite that mantra with a great sense of compassion and wisdom together. There are really no truly existing obstacles in any form also, even if they are would be accomplishments. Obstacles appears as a crisis, but wait until the crisis turns into attainments and blessings. And this is what happened to good practitioners. May you all be able to experience this. Thank you very much, everyone, once again. And I'm signing off. Thank you very much. Thank you to all our fellow translators who have been here a bit over 2 hours doing this translation for all of you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. See you next time.